what's impossible to you is possible to somebody else. And that's why they're going to have it and you won't. Let's talk about it. My name is Isis Rain, helping you change the game to rearrange your mental frame, your mind, so you will never be the same again. Never. Why do you deem something as impossible? If it's something you want, why would you deem it as impossible? Why? If you want it, it can't be impossible because you would never want something that's impossible. It's not impossible. It just might seem that way because whatever work that has to be put in to have it may seem like it's a lot. Okay? You may want to be a millionaire, but you come from poverty. So to you, being a millionaire seems impossible. But you know how many millionaires were created from a life of poverty? Because they did not believe it was impossible. But yet, they rather believed in the opposite. They believed that it was possible for them to achieve this. And they did not allow their physical surroundings, they did not allow the chatter and clatter of other people outside of them to get up in here and turn them from the path that they're on up in here. The path of them being a millionaire is where they stayed on in here, regardless of what was seen out here. And that is what you need to do. Now, I am not saying that you want to be a millionaire, but whatever it is that you are dreaming of, whatever it is that your dreams consist of, you cannot attach the word impossible to it and think that you can have it. Because you literally are cutting off the possibility of it coming to you in whatever way, shape, or form it's going to come to you. Now, when you put it out there, I will put it out there that it comes to me with no hurt, harm, or danger attached to it. But whatever way it's going to make its way to you, you cut it off by saying it's impossible. You cut off the possibilities. And the thing about possibilities is that they're infinite. They're infinite. They're limitless. Possibilities are literally limitless. There are so many different ways that something can come to you, but you block it off. When up in here, you can only see a select few amount of ways. Or if you can't see, no way. You cut it off from coming to you in any which way. When I want stuff, I have a picture. Yes, I hold on to the vision in my mind of what it is I want. I think thoughts that tell me I can have it so that I can feel feelings of having the thing. And whenever things occur in my life that go against that thought process, that go against those feelings, I understand the law of polarity. I understand that everything has an opposite. So when things present themselves to me in a negative way, I know that I can choose to see it that way, or I can choose to see it from its higher perspective. And when I tell you that everything has a higher perspective, the most negative of situations, there's always a higher way to see it. I have learned to choose the higher perspective, to shift my thoughts back into the thoughts that tell me I can, back into the thoughts that align with my wants, back into the feelings that align with my wants, my desires, right? I shift my focus. I shift my thoughts back into thoughts and shift my feelings back into feelings that allow me to feel good so that I can keep going on the path of having that thing. But what I have learned to do most of all is detach from the way I see it coming to me. Like I said before, I put it out there that whatever it is I desire comes to me with no hurt, harm, or danger to myself or my loved ones. But I do not allow myself to get caught up in thinking about how it's going to come to me. I have learned that it is not my responsibility to be concerned with how it is going to come, but rather be concerned with knowing it's coming. I know that it's coming. That's a conviction. I'm convicted in my thoughts of knowing that it's coming. I'm convicted in my feelings of feeling good, of being in the feeling that that thing would bring me. And that is where you have to be when you are manifesting, praying, putting it out there, whatever it is that you are desiring. You have to be convicted in your mind that it's coming. It's already on its way. I put in my purchase. I purchased it because I bought it up in here. I bought it with my energy, the currency of my mind. I paid attention to the thoughts. I paid attention to the feelings that align me with what I want. So I already bought into the experience in my mind. I can see it in my mind, so I already have it. I'm just waiting for it to show up physically to me. Like ordering a package, right? When you order a package, once you purchased it, you're not sitting back like, oh, I wonder if I'm going to ever get so and so and so. You already know it's coming to you. You just gotta wait for it to arrive. So you go about your daily life. And that's the same way I am when it comes to my desires. That's the same way you have to be when it comes to your desires. You cannot allow the thoughts that tell you you can't have it, the thoughts that tell you it's impossible, to take over. And I'm not saying you can't have a bad thought or a negative thought or you can't feel a negative feeling. Because shit, I'll be the first one to tell you, I'll feel a negative thought if it comes my way. I'll think, oh, look at that. I don't know what that is. But okay, exactly. I'll feel a negative feeling if it comes my way. If a negative thought comes my way, I'll think that feeling. I'll think that thought. But what I've learned to do is I have learned to not judge myself and not be like, oh my God, I can't be thinking these thoughts. Oh my God, I can't be feeling these feelings. I let it come. Because I understand that those thoughts that are producing those feelings are only there. They are only there to show me that if I think the opposite, I will feel the opposite. And then I can let that thought go. And I can let that feeling go. So it's nothing wrong with thinking a negative thought. It's nothing wrong with feeling a negative feeling. But what I will not do is judge myself for thinking it or feeling it. But rather, I have just learned to understand why they are there. And I did that by talking to myself. I didn't have no one to tell me your negative thoughts and your negative feelings are there to help you shift to a higher perspective so you can let go of the negative thought or the negative feeling, right? Or the lower thought and the lower feeling, because sometimes the word negative just seems very cringy. That's what they're there for, right? I didn't have no one to tell me that. I had to learn that through experience and through talking to myself, getting to know myself. When I began to feel feelings, I had to ask myself, why are you feeling this? And I had to allow myself to answer. When I was ready to receive the answer, I received the answer. I could not rush the process. But now we are in such a wonderful place where we have people that have gone through certain things. And I'm not saying that you don't need to go through your own journey, because you definitely are supposed to go. But for some people, they just don't get it through other people. They get it through learning on their own from experience. And then they're able to put a message out there that's going to reach somebody else. And I'm not saying that that person is still not going to have to go through their own experience, but they may be able to not have to go through so much suffering, because they hear the message and they're like, my thoughts and feelings are only there to show me or to tell me that if I shift my perspective from the lower perspective of the situation to a higher perspective, I can switch my thoughts. I will have higher thoughts, which will produce higher feelings. And then you start to become consciously aware of your thoughts and your feelings versus going 10, 15, in my case, 20 plus years of not being consciously aware of my thoughts and feelings. So what I am saying to you today is this. Do not let the word impossible become a part of your vocabulary. I don't care what your dreams are for yourself. I am not here to judge your dreams. No matter how small the dream might be to how big the dream might be. No matter how small the goal might be to how big the goal might be. Never allow the word impossible to be a part of that dream. Do not let that word come up on your path and take you off the path. Because anything you want to do is possible. Anything. Subscribe, hit that bell notification, like the video, share the video, do whatever it is that needs to be done to help get the message out. And I will see you on the next one. Okay? And I want you to practice, because practice is what makes perfect. Practice becoming consciously aware of your thoughts. Sit with your thoughts. Do a practice where you sit with your thoughts. Take some time and sit with your thoughts for a while. Just allow yourself to think whatever it is you think without judgment. And when those thoughts come into play, what you're going to do is, after you think the thoughts, get a little pad. Write those thoughts down, okay? And then you begin to do the work to process your thoughts. Why am I thinking those thoughts constantly? Why am I feeling these feelings constantly? And whatever the situation is that the thoughts and the feelings go to, what is the higher perspective? How can I see the situation from a higher perspective so that it can benefit me and I can let go of the lower thoughts and the lower feelings to be in the higher feelings and have the higher thoughts? I'll see you on the next one. You got this. I know you do.